Hey y'all. So today I want to talk about a transformative travel experience, right? Because every experience you have during your travel can shape how you think about travel, how you think about the world, how you think about life, right? So, yeah, today I wanted to focus on that. So, you know, stay tuned for another travel story. Do. If it's your first time joining me, I want to say welcome because it is a wonderful thing to have you here. Okay, I want to say welcome because I want you to feel welcomed. I want you to feel like this is the best place to be for you. Okay, it is definitely my joy that you are here. And if you are here again, family, I'm so happy. I am so happy to know that there is something that I have said that inspires you, that has motivated you or made you think about something, doing something a little different than what you may have done in the past. So I'm very happy for that. So I want to say welcome back to all of the family that has returned. It is always my pleasure to have the opportunity to share my world with you. It means the world to me that I get to share my world with you. And yeah, today I wanted to kind of get into what I would say was one of my most transformative travel experiences. So, in case you haven't been here before, let me just like lean in, get a little closer. If you haven't been here before, then you may not know my full story, but in short, I've always loved to travel. I've always wanted to see other places and meet people and just do different things. I love trying different foods, and I'm just, I guess an adventurer in that sense. Not in like my well, there were some times back in the day when I thought I might want to skydive and do all kinds of adventurous activities. But now my adventure just is in learning and exploring, right? So that's kind of where it is. But travel is my passion, and my other passion, or maybe even purpose, is helping people. So this is why I eventually pursued a career in social work, and I was doing that when good old life got in the way. I was going through what was a health crisis and didn't realize that I had kind of been going through it for a long time and didn't realize. So good old fibromyalgia, chronic illness, no joke. I talk about that on this channel as well. But I also have mentioned that what sort of inspired my travel in a different kind of way was the loss. I experienced loss of three important people in my life, and over in the span of like 3 months ish, somewhere 3 to 4 months, and yeah, that kind of put the exclamation point on live life to the fullest. So understand that I sort of went from being a vacationer, like most people, being a vacationer, I go on vacation, and you kind of, I was a tourist in places because I was curious, right? And I went from doing that to becoming a traveler. That moniker, that label, that badge I'm wearing, yeah, that badge I'm wearing, I had to earn that. So I would say that it required me to go through some challenges, some hardships, some hard lessons. But I want to say that the most transformative experience I had was being able to begin to heal. Because as I mentioned, I had basically taken this sabbatical from work for 2 months, and then I decided to travel to Portugal. It was like on my bucket list, and I wanted to go, and so that's where the story begins. and it got off to a semi rocky start, you know, when I ventured out to Fatima. I have a video about that. And I questioned why I was actually out there, what I was doing, and what I was doing it for. Like, what was I trying to accomplish? Like, I couldn't bring back those people in my life that I was missing. I mean, yes, I could see some sights and whatever, but like, I really needed to be more and do more. But I didn't recognize initially how much I needed to heal. I was in such a grief riddled state. I was so sad. I was hurting so bad. Yeah, I needed healing. I needed help, and I couldn't get it from somebody else. I couldn't get it from somebody else. It had to come from within, and I had to like come to a new place of understanding. So I mentioned when I've talked about visiting Portugal that one of my favorite places is a town called Sintra, and they're known because they have like these two castles. I think it's two castles, but this one particular one, which I don't know why in the world I don't know the name of this place off the top of my head. I'm always fumbling when I get to this part because I don't know. So I'm actually going to use my other phone and look it up because I want to make sure I tell you the right name. And considering it had such a significant impact on me, you would think that I would remember this place. But yeah, I know it sort of, but not quite. And I want to at least be able to read it. I want to at least be able to read it. So please bear with me as I do this, because yes, I could have looked it up ahead of time, you know. I could have looked it up. Okay, because that's not what it is. It's not the castle. Okay, I found it. And I don't know why I struggle to remember this name. I don't know why. So they do have the Moorish castle in Central, which people go visit all the time. But this place I'm talking about, it isn't actually a castle, it's an estate. And it's called Quinta da Regalera. Okay? Quinta da Regalera. And in this particular place, which I jokingly explained it to people like a Disney World for adults, it's not even that. It has all of these like passageways and passageways. Like, you get to explore the grounds, and some of these, there's some tunnels, and I just want to explain that there's a part where you come to an opening. You kind of go through a whole bunch of different pathways and do all these different things, and then you come to this middle point that has this like effect. I don't know how to explain it, but when I had my iPad was working, I still have the iPad, but I can't charge it again. If anyone knows how I can get this thing working again, please let me know, because I had this photo of me looking up the view out of this circular thing, and then there's like this like round, I would love to be able to explain this properly. I don't know what's going on with me. Okay, so just a little aside, because I digress a lot, but a little aside, I am recovering from a recent fibromyalgia flare, and I'm doing better. But unfortunately, the fibro brain continues. So even though I already knew what I wanted to talk about when I started this video, I have to kind of always get myself back on track. So you may find me saying, I digress, but I will hopefully get back to where I want to go. As my mother always says, it's like a carousel. Your memory is like a carousel. It'll come back around. So hopefully, but yeah, I can't think what you call this thing. But anyway, it is like when you go through all these pathways and then you finally get to this one spot and you're able to look up and you see the light, and I can't explain this feeling of accomplishment so that I had when I got to this particular spot. But there's a part where you can sort of cross over, like there's a path of rocks through this water filled area, and you know, you have to be a little careful, so obviously you don't want to fall in, right? And I had got to a place on one of the rocks where I was paralyzed. I'm not actually physically paralyzed, but like in my mind, I couldn't go any further. I was so afraid. I couldn't go backward and I couldn't go forward. I was so afraid that I was going to fall into the water. Not that I think that the water was that deep. I don't. I'm telling you, actually paralyzed, like stuck right there. And oddly enough, this is the funny part. The universe is just so funny. Oddly enough, I'm on this adventure in this place with another person with the same first name as me from Canada. And we were sharing a room in a hostel with another young lady who had done something. And when I say young lady, a little bit younger than me, but she had done something that I wanted to do, which is oh my word, why it just went right out of my head. So there's this walk that you can do. It's San Juan de Compostela. I'm not making it up, but it's so funny that like mid thought, like just gone. There's this walk, this pilgrimage that you can take, and it's like hundreds of miles. Like it can be as long or as short as you want, but it's a long pilgrimage, and I think it can start in Portugal or France. Where is it? I can't remember now. Now I'm gonna have to come back and tell y'all what I forgot. Like I'm very sorry. Anyway, so there's this walk that I said that I wanted to take when I had heard about it, and for the same exact reason that I'm telling you about this video. Like it was because it's supposed to be so transformative, right? So she had done it, and her name is the same name as one of my dearest friends. And the thing is that this name is not very common. So for me to be in a room with a person with the same name as me, and then the same name as my friend, it was just like, this is like really like bugged out for me. Like, wow. So anyway, I'm on this adventure with the same person, another person named Robin, like me, right? So she had to talk me through it. I just want y'all to understand. I am the mental health professional. I don't remember what she does. I don't remember exactly, but I'm telling you, I had to be literally talked through this whole experience by this layperson. I find that very funny. But I think that moment where I was stuck was really symbolic of how I was stuck in general at that point in my life. Like I didn't know if I could go back, and I didn't know I could go forward, and I was just standing in that moment, and I was overwhelmed. I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, that I cried. Like this grown woman crying because she can't get to the next rock. And I didn't realize like why. It's later that I'm on this journey in this place, the same day. I'm on this journey because you can really explore these tunnels and such for a good bit of time. Like, we were there for several hours. It wasn't like just walk through and you're done. No. I was there for several hours, going in and out of all of these different trails. And like, there was places where it was like so dark and all you could hear was trickling water. And then there was places there was a place that had this rope light, and it was kind of really well lit. But when I tell you, this feeling of freedom, this feeling of accomplishment, this feeling of like being open to anything and everything sort of going on in the universe, when this part happens, hey, it was absolutely transformative. Like, I think I had to, before I was coming to tell you this story, I had to try to figure out, like, where did the transformation happen? Did it happen when I was on the rocks, or did it happen after the rocks? But by golly, it happened after the rocks. That moment on the rocks, that I had to get through that part or whatever, it was that thing that I needed to be pushed. I needed to be pushed because, that's another part. Nobody behind me could go any further until I moved forward. No one behind me could go further until I moved forward. There was no way back. There was no other path. You had to go this way. And so that was a really hard thing for me. So this person, fortunately, Robin was in front of me, which I just find that to be so ironic. Robin was in front of me, and Robin had to guide me through it. I had to get through it. And I needed help from Robin to get through it. And that began the process. But it was at the moment that I got to this center, which is like the goal of this thing, of these paths, is to get to this center spot. And that's where you can look up and see. When I get to that center, I felt a weight lifted off my shoulders. Like, it was like the best thing. It was like, trying to think of what I can relate it to. But it was like the best thing. The greatest feeling, like I would imagine, because I'll never know, but I would imagine, like, running a marathon to get it to the finish line. I'll never know what that's like, but I'm just going to equate it to that, because I think you can get a visual, right? You know that you go in those last few steps, you don't know if you can do it, but somehow you manage, and you just feel like so elated and what. Okay, so this is the kind of feeling that I had, this sense of accomplishment, this sense of completion of this thing, but I felt like I could go on forever. Like, I know that the next time I find myself in Lisbon, because I've been back to Portugal, but in that last trip there, I didn't go to Lisbon. But the next time that I do go to Portugal and I'm in Lisbon, I will take the time to go to Central again, because I want to see if I feel the same way or if I get something extra from it, because I'm telling you that set the tone for the rest of my travel. Because when I'm there, I understand myself better. I understand what I'm going to go back to. I understand that it's not over, right? That it can't be over. And when I say over, because I took this 2 months, right? I took this 2 month break and this little sabbatical, but it was at its end when I take this last experience in Sintra. And it was really bothering me that it was over, because I felt like, even though so many things happened to me on this trip, and I will get into that story, because that's going to be the worst thing that happened to me during my travels, which actually is impacted by this experience. This experience is so, that's why I said it's so transformative, because it changed the way I looked at the things that had happened on the trip, in my life, and where I was going to go moving forward, right? So that's what made it so, I gotta go back. I absolutely have to go back. It's the Quinta da Regalera. Okay, so it's like Regal, E-I-R-A, like R-E-G-A-L-E-I-R-A. Quinta is Q-U-I-N-T-A, D-A, so that's Quinta da Regalera. And I need to have it tattooed on me somewhere, because it was that important in my travel journey, but also in my life journey, also just in understanding who I am as a person, and being able to like shed some layers, and it helped me to heal, helped me to heal and deal with the grieving process. So I hope that you will have experiences that impact you greatly, and in a good way, and honestly, everything, even the bad stuff, is happening in a good way. We just don't understand it at that moment. And that's what I'm going to touch on later in another video. I'm going to need time, and y'all going to need popcorn. Yeah, it was a rough one. But anyway, if you find yourself in Portugal, in the Lisbon area, please visit Sintra. They have so many things to see. It's a really nice little town. It's a quaint little town. It's not that far from Lisbon, like maybe 45 minutes or so, and it was life-changing for me. I'm not saying it's going to change your life, but it was my point. It was a point in my travel, and that I was able to see things a little differently and feel hopeful, to feel hopeful again. So yes, this is my transformation travel story. Okay, yes. So I appreciate you being here. I thank you for taking your time, because it is valuable. It's important. It's something that we never get back. We only get to spend it once, right? It's like money. You only get to spend it one time. So make sure you spend it right. And I appreciate that you took your time to hear my story. And I hope that somehow you'll be inspired or encouraged or motivated to live your dream, to follow your passion and purpose, and do a different thing if that's what you want to do. Okay? And to take care of the YouTube business, because we always got to take care of YouTube business. If you have gotten this far and haven't liked this video, ¿por qué? Why? Of course you should like this video. I would like you to like. I would like you to comment. Maybe you've had a transformative experience during travel. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you're hoping to. Give me a little comment down below. Talk to me. I would love to hear from you. Okay? Then we got the like, we got the comment. The next thing is the share. If you can get something from it, then surely someone else can too. Let's share this world with others. Why don't you? And the very last is, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Yes. All this and that this time. All right. So, as I like to always say, do good and be better. Be better, meaning be a better version of yourself today than you were yesterday, and a even better version tomorrow. How about that? Let's do that part. Okay. And as I said before, it means the world to me that I get to share my world with you. I appreciate you in every way possible. I'd love to hear from you, and I hope you will come back, okay? But until the next time, it's a ciao for now.